Hi, it's Theo and welcome to my quick reviews where I'll be reviewing every card in 1 minute or less. I don't want to waste any of your time, so let's jump right in with the very first card, which is the Brood Keeper. A 2 mana 2/3 battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, equip a 2/2 sword. Now, there'll be a few more dragons we'll get to later, and obviously it kind of depends how good this card is on the other dragons, like if a Dragon Warrior will be a thing. But looking at those other cards, Dragon Warrior is probably going to be a deck that isn't playing too many dragons. It only wants to run a few, I think. So yeah, having this active on turn 2 isn't always going to be guaranteed, because that's kind of what a card like this almost needs to be, right? Is that you can play it on turn 2. That's where it's the strongest. Now, if you can play it on turn 2, it's a pretty solid card, right? Just can kill like 2 tokens and develop a 2/3. But yeah, also that is about it, I think. Like solid early on, but after that, later in the game, it's not that great anymore. I mean, yeah, it's 4 damage, but there's just way better things you can do. However, I still think it's an alright card, maybe in a Dragon Warrior to try and survive in early game, so I'll be giving it 2 stars. Then the second card for Warrior is the Afflicted Devastator, a 4 mana 6/6 dragon. Battlecry, deal 3 damage to all other friendly minions. Death Rattle, deal 3 damage to all enemy minions. So yeah, first of all, it's an overstated dragon that damages your own minions. So this probably doesn't want to go in a deck where you're really playing a lot of minions early on. But then the Death Rattle is also quite nice because yeah, if it dies, it deals 3 AoE and 3 damage is quite a lot. And if this comes down, it's just it's really annoying to deal with, right? When you see this, it's a 4 mana 6/6, and then you gotta kill it, but then you kind of have to tokens kill it, because otherwise those tokens will die. Downside is, of course, it doesn't have taunt, so your opponents can just ignore it. If they have a full board of tokens, then they can just go phase, ignore it, and you might not be able to kill it off. Although there will be a card later that will counter that. But yeah, I think this card is pretty solid, just nice stats. The downside, there is a downside, but I think in the deck where you want to play this, it's not too big of a downside. And the upside of the Death Rattle is quite nice, so I'll be giving it 3 stars. And then the big dragon for Warrior is Ysondre, a 7 mana 8/5 dragon taunt Death Rattle. Summon a random dragon for each time Ysondre has died this game. So yeah, the first Ysondre, it's not that amazing, just you get a dragon randomly as Death Rattle, which can be kind of varying quality. You can get a whelp or you can get something huge. A good thing to note is that it can't summon itself, so there's no infinite chains of Ysondres. That would be kind of toxic. But obviously the strategy with this card is that you play Ysondre or summon it multiple times. Now I have some more cards for that later, but needless to say that it can easily happen that you get multiple of these. But yeah, once you get multiple Ysondres going, then yeah, it can be pretty strong. I do think though, it might be a little bit slow, right? It's 7 mana, and when there's cards like Bob, yeah, it can really counter this card really easily, and that's a bit of a problem, because you probably want to kind of build your deck around this, because standalone, yeah, I don't think it's that great. But I think if you build your deck around this card, it can be pretty good. Just keep summoning dragons over and over and overwhelm the opponent with them. So I think I'll be giving it 3 stars. There is a potential here for it to be quite good. Then let's go to some dragon synergy cards. First of all, we got the Dark Rider, a 1 mana 1/1 demon. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, discover a dragon with a dark gift. So you'll be playing this in a Dragon Warrior deck. And again, that's probably a Ysondre deck. But yeah, if you play Ysondre, usually you're not playing too many other dragons because the card will get too soon. So this won't always be active on 1, which is kind of a big deal. But yeah, it is a 1 mana 1/1 that discovers a dragon, giving it a dark gift as well, just a nice bonus. And of course you have a chance to get the Ysondre. However, there's only one problem, is that there's a lot of dragons to be discovered, and most of them just aren't that good. So that's really kind of holding this card back, is that there's a bunch of dragons, and then you just get some mediocre stat line that is nice value, but value isn't really too relevant anymore. It's all about tempo, because decks just don't run out of cards anymore. However, it is a 1 mana card that generates a card, a minion, and then also there's the additional upside of a dark gift to that minion that you discover. So it's kind of hard to give it a bad grade, so I think I'll be giving it 3 stars. Then we have Succumb to Madness, a 3 mana spell. Discover a friendly dragon that died this game, resummon it. So this is obviously that synergy with Ysondre that you want. You play Ysondre, dies, and then you resummon it with this. Now, I don't think you get a copy of this in your hand. You just resummon it. Would be too good otherwise. And also what I mentioned earlier is that you don't want to be playing a lot of dragons if you play a card like this, because I think you really want to guarantee to get the Ysondre, because that's insane if you get to resummon it over and over. Well, like if you get other dragons, it might be okay, right, for 3 mana, but you don't get that stacking Ysondre Death Rattle, which is kind of what you want probably. But yeah, this card outside of Ysondre, I don't see a lot of cards that you really want to be resummoning with it. Maybe the new 10-drop could be okay, just push a lot of damage with that. But that's maybe more of a discover card of the 1-drop than that you actually put in your deck. But I think if you win with this card can consistently get Ysondre back, it's a pretty solid card to go into deck, and I'll be giving it 3 stars. Then we have Clutch of Corruption, a 2 mana, 2 charge location. Choose a friendly dragon, summon a O2 egg that hatches into a copy of it, and then you get this horrible egg. Now, this is another card that you want to be playing with Ysondre, or maybe with the previous spell. That's a lot easier, but yeah, you can set this up, then you summon Ysondre, and then you copy it, and then you get this egg, and then even if Ysondre gets bobbed, you can still get this egg and get the Ysondre out to then resummon it with the 3-drop. And yeah, I think overall this is the best card that the Dragon Warrior gets. It's just potentially 2 big dragons in 1 card, and all it is 2 mana. Only downside is, of course, that you do need to kill those eggs, but we'll get to the next card soon where that's an easy way to do it. Plus, you're playing warriors, so you might be running stuff like brawls, right? To just easily kill it off yourself or win the brawl, which isn't that bad of a thing either. I think, yeah, you're getting 2 dragons for just 2 mana makes this really strong. I'll be giving this card 4 stars. And then we have Siphoning Growth, a 1 mana spell. Destroy a friendly minion to gain 8 armor. So this is obviously a spell that you can use to destroy those eggs and then get the 8 armor. It's a bit like a good old Dark Pact from Kobolds in Catacombs. And yeah, Dark Pact was quite a strong card. It had to get nerfed. And while maybe Warrior isn't that desperate for health like a Warlock is, it's still very nice because it's 8 armor. So unlike Dark Pact, you can actually play this at full health and get the benefit of it. Outside of the Dragon Egg though, I'm not sure what else it can really be played in. So yeah, Warrior doesn't really have many good death rolls that you want to target for this, but I think it's excellent with the egg, so I'll be giving this 3 stars. Then we have the Ominous Nightmares, a 1 mana shell spell. Choose one. Do 1 damage to all minions or give a damaged minion +2/+2. So first of all, you can choose to be a Whirlwind, which isn't very good. It's been a while since Whirlwind has really seen play. So yeah, that's not a good option. And the second option is give a damage minion +2/+2, which is like a weaker Rampage, which I'll play like 4 or 5 years ago. So that doesn't look terrible, but then I'm looking at the cards in Standard, and then it's like, what are you gonna be playing this with? Like, there's no synergy at all really with this. There's no real good cards, it feels like, that you really want to self-damage. It really just feels like there's no real deck right now that you want to be playing this in. And I don't think it's really enabling anything either, and yeah, it doesn't really work with the Dragon package. So yeah, I think it's pretty useless right now, and I'll be giving it 1 star. And next up, we've got the Egg Basher, a 4 mana 3/5 Battlecry. Deal 1 damage to a minion and give it +4 attack. So this is another card that feels like it maybe go to like an aggressive deck and a rage deck, but just like with the previous card, where are those decks? Like I don't think such a deck exists right now, or is even close to existing. Also, charge minions are rotating, so yeah, there's also no real combination that you can have with this with charge minions. So again, just like the previous spell, I just don't know what this card can go into. Like, the 4 attack is nice, but you have to deal 1 damage, and then you get a 3/5, which is not terrible, but it's not great either. It's just what Warrior deck wants to play this card. I just don't see anything Warrior wants to play this in. And right now it also isn't really much synergy with minions being damaged, so yeah, I think this card is just not good, and I'll be giving it 1 star. And the last card we have is a big turtle. It is Tortola, a 10 mana 1/30 beast, taunt, elusive. After this takes damage, gain 1 armor, and give this minion +1 attack. So yeah, that is a 30 health taunt, easily the biggest taunt we've ever had. But it is 10 mana, which yeah, makes it kind of difficult to get out. However, there is of course the Chemical Spill, which seems kind of ideal for this. Instead of a 130 though, you get a 225. And it's great to do with tokens because it just gets angrier and angrier. And then because you're playing Warrior, you can also resurrect it with the Hydration Station to be even more annoying. Like, well, one of these seems already tough to deal with. And then you potentially get to summon 3 in a game or even more. However, there is again that Bob that deals with this. You've got also the Unkilliax, and that isn't great, but there's a whole lot of decks that don't run the Unkilliax or Bob. And they're gonna struggle mightily with this card. It really is a lot of health to get through. And on top of that, you get a bit of armor. But I think this card isn't really worth playing by itself. You really need some synergy with it. So I'll be giving it 3 stars. And that is it for all the Warrior cards. So we got 2 Enraged cards, which don't seem very good. We've got the Tortola, which seems like an incredibly annoying taunt. And then we've got all the Dragon synergy. Do you think Dragon Warrior will be a thing? Let me know down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to help support the channel. Thank you for watching, and until next time.